are back with episode 14 of the Noble Shxt Podcast. And today I am with my girl, Detroit's Oprah, as the streets know her. An amazing, amazing person. Somebody I have grown to love over the past couple years. I admire her so much. I love to have her in this seat because usually she's in my seat.
Right?
So we get to see who the person is behind the brand. We have Jen with us. Hello.
Hi, Sydney. Thank you so much for having me on Noble Shxt. I am so happy that you said over the past 2 years you have grown to love me, because I have grown to love you and your brand as well, and everything that you stand for. Intention with the community that you cultivate behind Noble brand. It's definitely like setting its footprint. So I'm happy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, I mean, I highly doubt there's people who don't know you, especially if we're talking in the city. But for the people that may not know who you are, who would you say Jen is in 5 words?
Who Jen is in 5 words. So what is it, like a 5-word sentence?
Nope.
Or 5 adjectives?
5 adjectives.
Okay. I am funny. I am curious. I am sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
I am... That's 2 words. Hold on. I am...
We can hyphenate it.
There we go. No nonsense.
There we go.
And I am genuine.
And all those things are very much so true.
There we go.
Very much so true. As someone who has watched you, you know, since I moved back to Detroit in 2022, I just admire how you create space and you allow people to just be themselves. When they get around you, you see people's walls come down. Like, I remember the first time I met you in person, you interviewed me and I was so nervous. I was so nervous because I had only talked to you through social media. And then the first question, I was like, oh, this is my homegirl.
See?
We chilling. We chilling. Have you always had that spark, or have you always had that like characteristic about you, or is that something that has you grown into?
Now, this is not me just saying this. This has come from a panel of judges. I have friends who I have known since 1st grade. I have siblings, aunts, uncles. When Ask Jen came out, they say, yeah, this is exactly what I saw you doing. Like, every other thing you do in your life, 100% cool, love that. But like, this is what we saw ourselves doing. Since I was a little girl, I always had a lot of friends, or I always was friendly. One of my friends, I think we met in kindergarten. She said, I literally just walked up to her and said, hi, my name is Jennifer. Like, she remembers like our first encounter. And it's just like me wanting people around me and me wanting to care deeply around the people around me. I have a very big family, and me having friends and like people feeling comfortable around me as a friend is something that I can just remember like as long as I have been alive. So I'm like, this is where I landed, because I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. So as a kid, was that modeled for you? Like, do you feel like you're that way because you were raised that way, or the vice versa? Do you feel like you didn't have that?
Not that, like, so again, a lot of people, like, my siblings was my first friend. Like I said, I have a very big family and I had a lot of siblings. So it's just like, but the way I was raised, like, I'm Nigerian. Like, your community, your extended community is your family. Like, all my parents' friends, I call them auntie and uncle. So it's just like, I never saw my friends as just friends. Like, as I grew and I cultivated my relationship, I'm like, we play cousins, or we sisters. Right. Like, that's how I always saw it. I'm like, so I believe like it was something that was just always cultivated in me. I'm like, I'm not bringing people in my life for like funsies. If you're going to be around me, or if I want you around you, I'm here to take care of you. Like, we are here to have each other's back. So like, even if that's just a casual encounter, I joke all the time. Like, I have people who I was best friends for like 3 months, and like, we will remember that best friendship for like the rest of my life. So, but it's just like, when I am opening myself up to people, or when people open themselves up to me, it's not something that I take lightly. And I'm just be happy to see how far that relationship is able to go every time. It don't matter if we just passing each other in the club and that end up with us like being able to talk online or going outside together or something like that, or people just following me, my journey online for all of this time. It's just like, either way it comes, I value it.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Like, you definitely have a magnetic personality. You do. Like, when you walk in a room, everybody's like, who's that? I need to know her.
I think it's because I'm so...
Nah. Like, you have a glow and, like I said, a magnetism about you. You really do. Like, It's a level of confidence, it's a level of, like, I know who I am, it's a level of, like, you can't sway me, like, this is what you get, what you see is what you get, love it or leave it. Have you always been that way?
No, allow other people to tell me who I was for a very, very long time.
Really?
Yes, like
I can't picture it.
I am like a recovering like extreme people pleaser. It was to
Okay.
the point like, okay, who you wanted me to be, I could be that person. It was always for comfort. I didn't want people to have bad things to say about me. I didn't want people to dislike me. So I was always like moving and swaying. And like at a certain age, like that got me in a lot of trouble being friends with
Mhm,
people who probably weren't really doing the right thing or making decisions that probably weren't the right decision because I was just trying to fit into this person box.
mhm.
When I was 17, my dad passed away. My mom had passed away when I was 3. So now
Okay,
I'm not even 18 yet, no parents.
okay.
And I was just like, every single decision I make for the rest of my life is gonna be nobody behind me telling me good job, bad job,
Yeah,
don't do this, don't do that. So you need to figure out your values and stand firm in who you are right now. Like you
right
have to figure this
now.
out quick
Yeah.
because the more you are going to wait for somebody to tell you you're doing the right thing, the longer you're going to realize it's not going to happen. So I feel like ever since then, I was just like, okay, who am I? What do I believe in? What do I want to stand in? What do I want to stand on? And I feel like that cultivated who I was and it helped. Like, I'm 17. This is the summer. My dad passed away the summer before I went to college. And I really felt like that really helped me establish my sense of self going into college. And I think that's really where I shaped my womanhood. For the first time, I'm post parent loss. I'm on a campus completely by myself. I was the first person in my family technically to go away for college. Everybody went to like U of D or Wayne
Okay.
State. Everybody went. And I only went to Michigan State. I was the first person in my family to go away from college, literally figuring stuff out on my own and on life on my own. Literally, everybody parents was still helping them back home or they could call. I didn't
Yeah,
have nobody I could call. I was doing this on. I had to figure
right.
this out. So again, like figuring out those values quick, just so I just didn't go to MSU and lose my mind. I had to do it.
Yeah, so, okay, I wanna take a pivot. How was it going away for college in and of itself is a big transition. How was it going through that and grieving the loss of your father?
It was really, really hard. And just the fact that it was a awakening and discovery at the same time because, like, my whole life, like, whatever my daddy told me to do, like, that's what I would do. Like,
Right.
when I didn't do what he wanted me to do and I disappointed him, I felt really bad. But for the most part, I did what I was supposed to do. This is the first time my mama in my life, I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what do
Right.
I want to do?
Mhm.
And like, I guess I was grieving, but that newfound sense of freedom and like, oh my gosh, like, you get to figure this out now. It's like,
I love that.
it gave me an extra, like, sense of confidence. It's like, I wouldn't say, like, it was a good experience or it was better but I feel like for my self-development, that's something that had to happen. Because if
Mhm.
you just know any Africans or know any Nigerian families, you will get in the trap of doing what your parents want
Yeah.
you to do for the rest of their life, and I no longer had that weight or that guilt over my
Mhm.
head.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you say that, I think about my little cousin, shout out to Diamond. She is 21 and she recently had a child last year, and she still has yet to and is starting to go through the process of figuring out who she wants to be, what she likes. What kind of advice would you give to young women out there who are just now discovering how they want to take up space in the world?
You don't know what you don't like until you try it. And it sounds so hazardous, so dangerous because this can go so many ways, but you have to fail forward. Like
Mhm.
the quickest way to discover what you do like is find out what you don't. And especially with no restrictions. And not only, let me not say no restrictions. I feel like when you become a parent, your sole responsibility is doing right by your child. Everything that comes after that is secondary,
Yeah.
but your sole responsibility is doing right by your child. And unfortunately, at some point, you realize for me to change my child's life, for me to make the best decisions for them, I have to take risk. I have to do things that I've never done before to put my family in a position that I've never been in before. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, try things until you figure out what you love and then do
Mhm.
that over and over again until you the best at it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just try.
So, what about, like, when it comes to I feel like My advice would be you just gotta experience life.
Especially 21 with a kid.
21
Like,
with a
yes,
kid.
you a parent and you gotta be responsible, but you are
You
young. You
just
have
now
so much.
getting your freedom to do the thing.
Hey, your car insurance still high. It's just
Yes.
like, yeah, do the thing.
Yeah, but I think of, like, conversations I have with her friends, they don't even know what they believe in, like, as far as morals, values, those types of things, and I feel like the advice that I've given them in the past is sometimes you gotta bump your head,
Without
like,
question.
especially when it comes to these little boys running around these streets and all the things, like or even just, like, knowing what you will and won't tolerate, what is comfortable for you may not be comfortable for the next person, but I'm no mom. That's one thing I can't say I am, as from one mother who has raised a beautiful child to another mother who is just starting her parenting journey, but also figuring out who she is. Her biggest concern is wanting to set a good example. Do you have any words of encouragement?
I would say, like, I feel like people focus too much on what their child is going to look back and say instead of
Yeah.
focusing on in the now.
Mhm.
Be the best example you can be now. You probably won't be the perfect mom right now, or you
Mhm.
think you're not the perfect mom right now, but that child is going to look back and see you put your best effort towards building a good life for them
Yeah.
and doing the things and being with them all the time. And you think you being creative because you don't have XYZ, but they're looking at the quality time aspect of it.
Mhm.
Do what you can do while you can do it, and your child will always appreciate it. There is no type of woman you can be, there's no type of life you can provide that can replace real time spent. Focus on what you can do with and for your child right now. And I promise you, when they look back on their childhood, they'll think they have the best childhood ever because my mom was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Write that down. Truly. But I can speak from being a child raised by a single mother, and
Mm.
all of that is what I remember.
See?
Like, first person, firsthand experience, all of that is what I remember, how she showed up, whether it was correct or not, whatever, she was there. Like, even to this day at 32, like, if
Your
people
mom.
don't if people don't see my mom, they're like, "Where's your mother? Is she okay? Why is she not with you?"
Also, I think about my friends who were, like, raised with their parents, who parents had them when they were in their teens or early 20s.
Mm,
They have the best memories growing up with their parents because they
yeah.
remember, like, what it was like, and then seeing them, like, the way that they are now, like, whether they got the job or the degree or just the experiences they shared together. Kids love it.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah.
You think you just scraping by or you just doing what you need to do, but my friends who grew up with their parents have such good fond memories.
Yeah, yeah. So, what's one thing that your daughter has taught you about yourself?
Oh my gosh, patience.
Or a couple things if it's more than one.
Top 1, patience. Like, especially with my daughter being on the autism spectrum. I am repeating myself a lot or recognizing things need to be done over and over again and make sure that she understands and she does it right.
Mm,
And it's making me realize, like, girl, why are you in such a rush to do everything? Like, why does she have to hurry up and put her shoes on?
yeah.
Like, things like that. It's teaching me, like, I don't have as much patience as I need to. And because I have so much patience with her, it gives me so much patience in real life. Like, I'll be in a grocery store line just standing, everybody around me grunting and groaning, and like when the other
Yeah.
one opened, I'm just sitting chilling. And I'm just like, wow, like, where did I get this from? Like, this could have been
Yeah.
me. Also, in recognizing that the second thing that I feel like she's teaching me is that it does not matter how you think you raising them, what you think you planning, all of the things you thinking you doing and setting themselves up for, your child is going to be who they are. And as your
Yeah.
parent, you got one job, like I said, to love them, protect them, and take care of them. I feel
Yeah.
like people put stipulations, well, they got to get good grades, or they have to play a sport, or they have to be good at the sport, or they have to
Mhm.
try and do these things. Stop putting stipulations on when and how and why you will love your child.
Yeah.
As a parent, like I said, once they are born, that is your sole responsibility. Take it very seriously. There's a lot of people out here who don't want to do right by children. We watching their rights get taken away. We watch their
Yes.
school system get defunded. The home that you create is going to be the single most important factor in how successful your child is. Cultivate yourself a good home and stop trying to control who your child will become and do your job as a good nurturing parent. And most times, if you just do that, your child will become something or somebody amazing.
Period. Period. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I truly do. And that actually brings me, perfect segue. People that either don't know you for your show Ask Jen, they know you for your advocacy. Did that start with your daughter? Or when did advocacy become like this thing that you speak so highly and heavily about?
Well, I am a social worker, like by trade. That's what I do. And advocacy is one of the 4 core practices of the social work practice. But
Mhm.
even before that, like before I was a social worker, I remember like being at elementary school. And I know like they don't tell you this on purpose, but you know, like they have the advanced class, the middle class, and the lower class.
Mhm.
And I always like knew like this wasn't right. I remember in first grade, like my teacher would pull me and these other 2 boys out to read a different book than everybody else. And I'm like,
Mm.
there this I just knew like this don't seem right. Like
Right.
why are we like separating educational opportunities for like students? Like
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm a little more advanced and there's somebody in my class who is next to me, like peer learning could be valuable. Why can't we
Mhm.
be learning this alongside? Or why can't you be like, oh, Jennifer is stronger at putting a sentence together and you might be stronger at phonics? Like, why don't you like you sound out the word and Jennifer helps you read it? It
Yeah.
was little stuff like that that I knew like younger and like early on. So me standing up for people like has always been the thing, especially like I was big and tall. I'm like, you're not about to boss nobody who know me.
Oh.
So like that's how I always was. But becoming a social worker really like just started my advocacy. I'm like, there are a lot of people on this earth who are just treated poorly because of who they are, what their skin color is, where they were born, how they identify. And I'm just like, flat out, like, this is wrong. So I'm like,
Mhm.
it helped that, of course, like now I have a daughter with a disability. So, like,
Mhm.
my advocacy is ramped up because I want her to have a quality life and I don't want people to treat her different because of
Right.
the way she was born or whatever type of like disability that she has. But I'm just like, as a social worker, it is my core right and practice to advocate for those who can't speak for themselves.
Yeah, I love that. As a person who is a part of a lot of minority and marginalized groups, having a disability, multiple, being queer, being Black, being woman, being all the things, having people like you who speak out and stand for what's right is so important because I know at times where I was my weakest, where I couldn't speak for myself, I really looked for people like you who were fighting the fight and, standing on those front lines in any
Yeah.
capacity. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a physical front line, like in any capacity to speak out for justice, for what's right is so important for somebody who's looking to start their advocacy journey. What are some tips, some things you would tell them, things to think about, resources, whatever the case may be? I know advocacy is very broad and umbrella
I
term
really
because
say like
advocacy could be anything.
it could be anything, but honestly, like awareness has never hurt anybody. Like I feel like so often like we hear about things and don't like want to research or don't look into it deeper. There is as an adult, you need to live a life you are responsible for. All of these systemic issues happening around you, you are responsible for it. It is your job to be aware.
Mhm.
Now, with that awareness, now you are responsible for the information that you have, meaning A, you do better because you know it. B, you make others aware of the issue. So, like now the awareness around it is spreading. Or C, you can get on the front lines and provide action. I feel like everybody is not in the revolution to go be a protest. Like I said, some
Yeah.
of us, our job is to spread awareness. Some of
Mhm.
us, our job is to read theory. Some of us, our job is to document. I feel like knowing about things has never hurt anybody. Knowing about a situation or an environmental issue or a systemic issue, seeing what you want to do about it and then acting in that role, I feel like it's something all of us can do. And again, acting don't have to be joining a protest. It could be telling somebody else, hey, do you know this is going on? Or have you seen them pass this law? Or are you aware these people are being treated that way? Like
Mhm.
letting people know these things has zero consequences whatsoever.
Right.
Do that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Come on.
It's too easy.
It
Who should why are you against knowing things?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We should all know.
And honestly, like, I feel like the biggest, I'm gonna say excuse I hear is, well, I don't wanna be too far on one side of the situation. You can just state the
No.
facts,
Okay, I read
like,
Peter
not
Piper pecked a
opinions.
peck of pickled peppers, and I had
Hello.
not looked for a peck of pickled peppers. Like,
Hello.
just know information stored in your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like I said, pass it along, but you cannot be ignorant. That's what I said.
Yes.
You cannot be ignorant. There is too much going on under our nose to just let things pass you by. Be
Yes.
aware.
Yes. So personally, with everything that's going on, like locally, nationally, globally,
It's too much.
it's too
Oh,
much going
child.
on. What would be, I'd say, the top 3 things you feel like isn't talked about enough or isn't enough awareness on?
I wouldn't say isn't talked about, but isn't enough awareness on. But I feel like Black women are very much in our girl boss build business era. But the 300,000 Black women who have lost their jobs in the corporate
Yes.
sector, it's not like bringing enough awareness. I don't think it's enough awareness around it. I'm not saying that,
Mhm.
but I feel like what is the solution? Like, what are we coming together? Like, as you all know, in collaboration with Black Tech Saturdays, me and Amber through our Vixen party, we did our
Yes.
own fundraiser for that. But I'm just like, we need more community-based solutions to this. I don't even think people understand Black women are the largest group of middle income earners. Most Black households are led by women. So if you are looking at 300,000 Black women leaving the workforce, these are families that are going hungry.
Yeah.
Like, this is a real systemic issue. So I don't want to
Yeah.
say it's not getting enough attention. It's not bringing, but I feel like people need to know more about this. Local politics, I feel like, is very, very important to me. The lack of voter turnout in Detroit is disgusting and abysmal. And it is the
Mhm.
same reason why people can just run in positions over and over again. People who were in a position were no longer elected can run again. It's
Mhm.
like, as voters, we do not hold our elected officials like accountable, and we do not take enough stake or seriousness in the democratic process. I
Mhm.
feel like that's an important issue. And especially as we're seeing things like President Donald Trump saying in the future, we won't have to vote no more. If
Crazy.
you look at what these people are doing, they are making it harder to vote because they are making your vote not count. And by somebody who is not active in the democratic process, it is very easy for them to take your rights away simply
Right.
because while you had it, you were not using it.
Using it.
So definitely getting people more engaged in the civic process, voting, learning more about who you are voting for, who is funding all of these political campaigns, dark money, all of that, like letting people like be aware, like how campaigns are funded, how a campaign is funded can influence what type of policies people will push through, being able to follow the money. I feel like that is very, very important. And
Yes.
also just I feel like the last thing that I feel like is bigger than it, I'm just a Detroit girl. So I think about Detroit,
Mm.
about how Detroit is a majority Black city and we are currently in a housing crisis. People are
Yeah.
thinking about housing crisis as like the recession and like the housing market crashing. But the fact that we have very little affordable housing in the city of Detroit. The affordable housing that is available is absolutely last choice options for the most part. And the
100%.
definition of affordable housing that developers are using to set these caps and what is affordable to the average Detroiter are not the same thing. We need
Mhm.
policymakers who have a commitment to making Detroit a majority family city. Detroit used to be a city that families lived in,
Yeah.
not any
Not
longer.
anymore.
And that trickles down the fact that people are not buying homes or living in homes in Detroit or can't afford to live in Detroit or rehab a home in Detroit. They are not investing in schools. Families are not living here. So no, we're not going to put a big investment in Detroit schools. Like, I feel so bad that a city of Detroit so vast that had this school system that was so large that people found so valuable, it has declined completely to the fact that, you know, in the city of Detroit, we probably hear about 4, 5, 6 schools, even though it's well over 30, 40, 50 maybe. It's
Yeah.
just like, and I feel bad that parents have to drive all around to get their kids educated instead of,
Mhm.
you know, when we was growing up, you went around a corner. Your
Hello?
neighborhood school is where you went and nobody had problems with that.
Right.
So again, going back to investing in the housing crisis that's in the city, because I feel like people not being able to purchase homes or people not being able to rent or people not being able to afford to live in the city trickles down to so many other things.
Yeah, come on. Educate me
I
and the
care about what I
people.
care about.
No, but I love that about you. I truly do. Like, you teach me so much. I stay as informed as I possibly can, but I watch you and I'm like, "Didn't know that."
I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know that to that degree.
And literally, like, that's why I share stuff all day. Like, I don't care if at
Going.
the end of the day my Instagram story look like dots of rice. Like, if I find information that I think
Keep
is valuable to
going.
the masses or somebody can benefit from, the amount of times like I'll post something throughout the week and somebody later on in the week, like, the other day you posted this. Can you
Yeah.
share that with me again? I'm
Yeah.
like, this is why I do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember Ask Jeeves? Hello?
Literally, that's where the name came from.
Hello.
My friend Kelly, she used to always say, like, I don't ask Jeeves, I ask Jen. So when Barry was like, what would you name the show? I was like,
Ask Jen.
ask Jen. Shout out to my girl
Absolutely.
Kelly.
Shout out to Kelly. So, through staying informed, how do you keep such a positive, at least it seems to me, like a positive mental state?
I feel like every fight don't gotta be my fight. And when I say that,
Mm.
I can know information and okay, as I'm researching, I'm like, okay, what's being done about this? Oh, this
Yeah.
organization over here is doing something about it. Or I saw somebody post a crowdfunding link, so somebody is taking care of that. Like knowing, even if I don't jump in the ring for everything,
Yeah.
these things are being taken care of by other entities make me proud. Also, some of these things will not be fixed in a day. If I cry and I'm stressed today about the state of the housing crisis in Detroit, I
Yeah.
know if I complain about this, make a post about it every single day and wake up tomorrow, it won't be fixed.
Right.
Recognizing that some things take time
Mhm.
and I can monitor the progress on it over time. And if I
Mhm.
feel compelled to act, I will. But in the meantime, just keeping up with who's fighting a fight and then provide the resources I can provide. For example, if I just need to repost it for awareness, I can do that. If I can
Yeah.
donate you $10, I can do that. If I can just tell somebody else, oh, I saw this online. I know that you involved with this organization. Do you think that they can connect?
Yeah.
I can do that. Use what's in my wheelhouse and my skills to solve the problems that I actually can solve.
Yeah.
Until then, I'm going to take a nap. There are problems I cannot solve and I'm just gonna have to go to sleep on them, and that's okay.
Heavy on a take a
I'm
nap.
taking a nap.
When I get overwhelmed, I just crawl in my bed.
I don't
I
got
just
time to
block out
think.
the world. I love that. I love that so much. Every fight don't gotta be my fight.
There are people on the. If it make you feel better, who is helping with the, um, I guess the slave situation in the Congo. There's organizations doing that. Maybe you can get up $10.
Yeah.
Like maybe you can amplify it so one of your followers can give you $10.
Yeah.
Maybe you can see it and like, you know what? I'ma use money from the Noble brand, 5% of every sale. I'ma donate to.
Yeah.
Like use the solutions that is in your wheelhouse, but you can't be on the front lines for everything.
You can't be Captain Save a Hoe for everybody.
For everybody,
For
honey.
everybody. And I think that's where I know I got okay, so years ago, like when George Floyd, all that happened, I was in LA. And that was right before I became chronically ill. But I starting displaying some of those symptoms and I was just like burnt out, like emotionally, spiritually, physically, all the things. But I still felt like I had to show up in all these different ways. Like I remember going to the protests and being on the front lines and like all those different pictures and videos you would see of like the like protests and things. I was right there in it, sick as hell. I love that because not only if I needed to hear it, I know there's a lot of other Black women that need to hear it. Especially in our communities, we have that ingrained in us for generations and generations and generations where we feel like we have to take care of everybody. We have to do everything for everybody. And that's actually why I started this brand because as Black women and the Black women that modeled life for me, they knew how to nurture everybody else, but they did not know how to take care of them. So what I'm hearing in what you're saying is that there is a level of a personal boundary you have to have in between your advocacy and your self, not only preservation, but like your self, I call it thrival, not survival, but thrival, how you
Absolutely.
thrive in life
Yeah.
in order to just keep above water.
Yes. And like again, back to social work practice, like self-care was before it became spas and face masks
Mm-hmm.
and yoga and everything like that, self-care was a term coined for Black women who were doing the front lines
Yep.
work, how they recovered from these traumatic experiences. Like, what is your self-care? As social
Mm-hmm.
workers, the term self-care was introduced as after you take on the problems of all your clients and you deal with the trauma of being in the field and all the things that you are learning, how do you take care of yourself? Keeping that boundary separation between yourself and the work, the self-care is necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
The boundary is the self-care.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like my mom, she's 61 and she's just now learning.
Ooh, I can't imagine.
She's a social worker.
Like, but and
Since
that's
I was
another thing.
3.
I be trying to tell, like, it's so crazy. Like, what I never forget when I was in school, all the girls in my office, because I went to Michigan State, Lansing was across the street. They like, yeah, I want to work for CPS. I used to say the stories and the thing is, like, I went to a public school. Like, I knew kids who was in foster care. Like, I knew kids who was I was like, I sell pussy on the street before I work for CPS. Like,
hell no.
That's how I always was. I'm just like, with the way the system is, y'all are a buffer. Y'all are not a solution. There are very few success stories that come out of CPS. There are some, but there are very few. I was like, I with good conscience could not. Another place like that is the VA. The way I said, baby, I want to be able to sleep
in the VA.
I said, I want to be able to sleep at night. I can't do this. I hear the wait times for these people come in, all types of real issues, the wait times. I said, oh, I would be traumatized.
That's exactly how I feel about adult foster care systems. That's what my mom does. She's done it since I was 3. I was raised in it. And my mom's like, I'm ready to retire. Don't you want to take it over? I said, hell nah. Like,
I can't lie. It's people who buy from her for sure. She needs to.
For sure.
She needs to look into it. Somebody will buy either her practice or all her clients. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Ma. But yeah, so she that's how I feel about that line of work, because especially in today's, like, these past 10 or so years, the system has just completely changed. People that should be in long-term hospitalization, they're just throwing them off into the streets saying, we don't have the house, we don't have the beds, we don't have
too much. Like, the deinstitutionalization of everything ruined the way we can take care of people, but also how we can take care of people. It's just like, why would you want somebody like in an institution? And it's just like, we see the alternative is homelessness or people using jail as survival. Like, I'm like, no, I wouldn't want nobody locked up in an institution, but this is the alternative. I'm like, we got to figure this out.
Yeah, I love that. So I love the way you advocate. I love the way you show up in the world. I love the way you show up for the people you love. I see you as a light.
Thank you.
I see you as somebody who stands I know I said this, but stands so rooted in who they are. Like, you have no choice but to be magnetized.
That's how I feel.
That's how it comes across. So when I think of you, I think of Bubbly Bellini.
I smell Bubbly Bellini. Mind you, I've been smelling it the whole time.
And it's not even lit, y'all.
If this is what you think of when you think of me, baby, I feel good.
I do. It's grapefruit, it's peach, it's sugar, like peach rings, candy. It's so light, it's so airy, it's so fun, it's bold, it's in your face, but like, it's just, I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here.
Very much. Like I said, it's not lit. I can smell it.
Yeah.
We are here.
Yeah. So with all that being said, we talked about your childhood, we talked about motherhood, we talked about your advocacy, we talked about your work, we talked about it all. We touched on a little bit of everything. At the end of the day, how is Jen doing?
Jen I am energized, but at the same time, the energy that I feel inside, my life does not reflect it. I am an extremely busy person. And when I say busy, I say I do a lot of things for other people. The amount of time that I have to do for myself is minimal. So like, I feel energized, but I really, really want to redirect my energy. Like I said, I'm grateful for the opportunities that come before me. I'm grateful for all the rooms that I get to sit in. But sometimes I want the room that I sit in to be my bedroom.
Yes. Okay. I'm about to be your accountability partner.
Please.
I'll be checking in on you.
There's no rest having it in October. So please,
November.
Just call me next month.
Okay. Fine. That's fair. That's fair.
I'm going to Nigeria at the end of the year. And I'm going to be gone for 10 days. And I'm going to be in the village with my family, meaning minimal Wi-Fi, minimal electricity. I can
You can't wait.
as I never thought in my life I would say I cannot wait to go to the village. I cannot wait. My girl, I hope her daddy have her. When I get a little charge, when I get a little signal, I'ma call, I'm gonna check in, but I cannot wait to disconnect.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So November, I might have a little time. Thanksgiving break that give me the recharge that I need sometimes because, like, you know, I get off work, get Black Friday off, get to be with my family, get to be my baby, all that.
Yeah.
But them 10 days in December, I'm counting down.
I love it. As you should. As you should. Actually, you know what? Another question. Do you ever experience burnout? And if you do, how do you handle it?
I wouldn't say I don't experience burnout. I'm an extrovert. So like a person who recharge their energy from being in new
Around
energies and
people.
be other places, that is me.
Okay.
I love it 100%. What I do get burnout from is like commitments. Like, oh, I have to go to work every day.
Yeah.
I also have to do the work for my business. I also have to do the work for my other business, or I have these commitments. Oh, I have to get this done by this deadline. My burnout comes from like, I feel like every single day is a new deadline to do something else, or something else that I've forgotten to do, or something else that I have to catch up on. I'm probably gonna hire an assistant for that. I can't lie. Like that is something I'm just inching towards. Before I felt like I could do it. Now I'm like, I'm gonna get the help. And I feel like my task burnout of having to continuously do things will decrease once I hire somebody else to manage those things for me. Cause I'm like, oh, not only do I have to make a video for this organization, I have to write a script, I have to record it, I have to edit it, then I have to submit that for them. Oh, but also I have to write the invoice to make sure that they pay me for the video. And then I have to monitor the metrics on the video to make it do well, make sure it does well, and make sure I send that back to the. So it's just like, I wish it was always just one thing. One thing is never just one thing. Right. So if I get somebody to handle all of those tasks for me, I think that will help with my burnout.
Okay. 2026.
And mind you,
early
2026. The thing is, I'm grateful for my village, honey. People have offered, but I think about the mental burden it is to write down, if I had an assistant, what is every single thing that I want them to do? I think it's just easier for me to do it. It's just like, Jen, it's not. No. Please just give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
They want it.
Yeah. Yeah. I can tell you firsthand. Get you some help.
I'm getting some help.
Get you some help.
I'm like so delusional. I think my brand is not big enough to have an assistant.
Girl, bye.
Done enough to have an assistant. But
when I look bye.
at admin tasks, I'm like, I can't be the talent and this. But yeah, I'm hiring help.
Your brand is beyond big enough.
Oh, I know. I know. Like I said, I'll be feeling like it. Oh, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's getting done.
Yes. Okay, last question, and we out of here.
Okay.
What makes you noble?
What makes me noble? That I know I'm not perfect. I feel like with Ask Jen, people see it as an advice platform because I think I'm perfect. I want people to know that my platform exists because I want people to remember, just because you made a bad decision or you made a decision that you're not sure is the right one, don't make you a bad person. And that's another thing. I don't want us to internalize the things that we do. We can always wake up the next day and become somebody new. What you have done does not have to be who you are. Some people are what they have done, but it does not have to be. Yes. And that's really what I want people to know with my platform. Like, the advice come out not perfect. It don't come out polished. It don't come out professional, because it don't have to be that serious. It don't have to be who you are.
Come on. Come on. Well, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Oh, I love you so much. Come on, as you should. As you should. You're part of the family now.
Yeah, period.
Yep. Okay. It's Jen Noble now.
Okay. I'm in.
Well, thank you so much.
My
this
pleasure.
has been episode, what did I say, 14? Oh my goodness, it is flying. So until next time, see ya.
Peace, girl.
We did it.